the Patriots have had such an underrated offseason. Now, yeah, they had like those big, massive signings with Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, like 4-year deals each over like $50 million, something crazy like that. But they also signed like 7 wide receivers. Oh man, I would have to look at exactly which wide receivers they signed. But they signed a lot of depth, okay? Patriots did sign a lot of depth. They're also getting back a lot of key players on the defensive side of the ball that opted out. They brought back Trent Brown. I think Trent Brown has had a stint with New England before, but I think Trent Brown is definitely back this time. I think they signed him. So they're beefing up that offensive line. They still have Cam Newton. They brought him back. Now, is he going to start? Yeah, he's going to start. I don't know how long. He better have a better season than he did last year, that's for sure. But he's got more weapons at wide receiver now. And he's definitely got better weapons at tight end and Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. If Hunter Henry could stay healthy, that's the question. But I love Hunter Henry. He's an Arkansas Razorback all the way. I'm a huge Arkansas fan. He was a stud here in Arkansas, absolute stud. But you got to look at the defensive side of the ball. They have a lot of key players coming back. Dante Hightower. There's other guys too. I think Gilmore is going to be completely 100% ready to go. I know he battled some injuries last season. Gilmore looking to bounce back and have another elite season. But I think in 2020, the Patriots had like a total, they led the NFL with like 7 or more players that opted out. And a lot of those were really good key players. But I do expect the Patriots to be a huge contender for a Super Bowl. Only if Cam Newton can play decent. I mean, he has to have an above-average season for the Patriots to be a Super Bowl contender. If it's like halfway through the season and he's like, only passed for like 1,500 or 2,000 yards, and it's halfway through the season, it's time to make a switch because you gotta have more. You gotta have more passing yards than that. You got to have more than 15 passing touchdowns a season to be a competitor in this NFL league nowadays. You gotta be ready to pass the ball. And I think Mac Jones is in the perfect situation in New England. If anybody can make him a starter, it's going to be Bill Belichick. He does have Cam Newton to sit behind and learn under as much as he can. A lot of mock drafts had Mac Jones landing in New England. And he's got a pretty good arm, a cannon. He's probably got better accuracy than Cam Newton, honestly. If it's like halfway through the season and, like I said, if Cam Newton's struggling, you got to put in Mac Jones and let him just like, boom, just fling it. See what he can do with all this depth at wide receiver now, with 2 new star tight ends. I think the Patriots are definitely a wild card contender, if not a dark horse contender for the Super Bowl, only if Cam Newton can play well. And I don't have him playing well. I don't see him being an elite quarterback ever again, to be honest with you. I never even thought he was elite even in 2015 when he won his MVP. I didn't really like him before that. He was always able to, run with his legs. He's always great with his legs. I never really liked him as a passer, though. And I think that's starting to show as he's getting older. And I say older, I think he's only like 32. But he may be younger than that. I just don't like Cam Newton. I've never really been a fan of his play. He was great at Auburn. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was great at Auburn, and he had a great few seasons with Carolina. But I don't have him as like a Super Bowl leading quarterback. I just don't have it. Mac Jones, though, he knows what it's like to be in a situation like that, competing for championships, having a great team around him, an all-star team around him at Alabama. People don't give Alabama enough credit because, or Alabama quarterbacks, because they're like, well, they have the best offensive line in college football around him. He's got the best playmakers around him. He's got the best defense in college football. Like, yeah, you can't blame the guy for being the quarterback of a great team. But he knows what it's like to lead a championship caliber team. So think about it. Just think about it. He knows what it's like to have weapons around him. Now that New England's going to have weapons around him, And they're all adults and they're more experienced and they have, I mean, I think these are all key and valid points of why the New England Patriots could be a Super Bowl caliber team in 2021, even though I am not a New England fan. This is coming from a Green Bay Packers fan, guys. I have never been a Patriots fan, ever. But I do believe that they could have a stellar season if they have a solid quarterback playing. Whether that's Mac Jones or Cam Newton, they got to have a solid season in 2021 at the quarterback position for them to be a Super Bowl caliber team. But I do think the talent is there all around that team.